does mean a little bit of something.
We have Monday Night Football, and tonight, in the first game, you are looking at Drake London, but you're looking at over targets. I didn't know that was a market available. It probably isn't in New York. We're not that lucky.
It is probably not on the FanDuel DraftKings sportsbook side of things, but it is on Underdog and Prize Picks, so more of those pick'em apps, which is where I can play. I think that there's a big nuance here that could certainly help us in this situation. So the main reason I'm looking at this is because I did notice that when Darnell Mooney has missed, he missed week 1, and he also got hurt right away in week 4. In those 2 games, we have seen the scheming of plays and first read stuff for Drake London go through the roof. And now Mooney's out again here. The 2 weeks that London has played, I'm going to just count week 4 as a full game because it basically was. Mooney got hurt right away, like I said. He had a 36% target share and 38% target share in those games that Mooney did not play. And while I know that the Falcons want to run, they're one of the run heaviest teams in football, I still think that they'll be trailing in this game, or at least in a back and forth relative shootout type of situation. So I do like Drake London quite a bit, and it just feels really, really good on paper. Whereas I think the the receptions and the receiving lines markets are always going to be tighter.
You also are looking at Josh Allen over 36.5 rushing yards tonight. I actually was looking at fading Josh Allen in the passing game, so that makes sense and is correlated to him running, I'd assume.
Yeah, it is. I also think that this is, this game specifically, Falcons and Bills are like the top 2 pass defenses in terms of yards allowed for the first 5 weeks of the year, and specifically over the last 4 weeks of the regular season. And you also have Atlanta coming off a bye. Maybe they've gotten healthier, maybe, and they have. And you can certainly say that they've schemed this and planned for this matchup for 2 weeks now. So I do think that there's no real reason to buy into Allen going over passing stuff in this spot. And they're basically, if you look at DVP, like top 5 Falcons are like every position, which is kind of crazy. I didn't expect the leap to come this quickly, but in terms of the rushing stuff, I do like Josh Allen here. If you look back towards the back half of last year, so essentially since the beginning of November, Josh Allen has rushed for 25 plus yards in every game this season. And then dating back to November, he's also rushed for 35 plus yards in 5 of the last 6 road games. Have you looked into, or have you seen or talked on the show today about this Allen indoors stuff?
No.
It's kind of fascinating. I'm not sure how much it really matters, but I guess when you take a look at like the fact that he has to play outside against the Patriots and the Jets and at home, maybe that makes a little bit more sense. But when he's playing indoors, he's 11-2 against the spread. And if he's indoors coming off of a loss and he's a favorite in that game, he's perfect in his career at 3-0.
Ooh, I did not know that. I was looking, Cash needs an indoor-outdoor option. They only have
turf and grass. I mean, it's weird, but it certainly, those are screaming numbers. If you remember, one of those games was the Rams-Bills shootout, which was the highlight of the regular season last year in terms of scoring. I think there was like 80 points in that game. And obviously Allen went smashed in that one. And according to John Ewing of BetMGM, the Bills moved from -5.5 at open to now, he says -4 as of 5 hours ago, but I'm seeing -3.5 on FanDuel. So a lot of public money is coming in on the Falcons.
And it's interesting because the Bills elevated Jordan Poyer and Jordan Phillips from the practice squad for tonight's game. Yeah. So depleted defense and injuries maybe, but I've heard a lot of sharps were like in Atlanta this week.
Yeah, I mean, rightly so. Bills don't have Matt Milano, which is a huge deal. It means that Bijan probably just goes nuclear here.
I was going to ask you about Bijan Robinson. I love him tonight in the passing game. How are you going to be playing Bijan? Or excuse me, I don't love him in the passing game. I like him more on the ground. I know that the Bills have been really good against pass catching backs. So what do you think about Bijan tonight?
Yeah, for me, if I'm playing Bijan, I'm just getting exposure to the rush plus receiving stuff, because I do think that regardless if even if he gets relatively stopped in the passing game, I still think he'll have 4 to 5 targets for a good 25 to 30 yards. and he could break one in the event that he does. He's probably clearing that 110 number. So I like both, and I do think that obviously he should have success on the ground today. Matt Milano is a huge, huge deal in terms of yards per carry. The Bills actually do rank, I believe. Let me just check my notes, and then I'll get back to that spread point quickly here. Yes, okay. Buffalo's defense has allowed the 10th most rushing yards this season. Oh, they have allowed the second highest yards per carry and have allowed a 4 20-plus yard explosive running plays, which is seventh most. So Milano not being there is a huge deal. I just want to finish this thought on this John Ewing post. You can find it on X. Okay, so when the line has moved against Josh Allen, we talked about it, -5.5 to now -3.5. Josh Allen has gone 29 and 15 in those situations against the spread. So when the public and sharp money tends to come in against Josh Allen, he tends to prove them wrong.
That's impressive. Don't sleep on Josh Allen. I definitely don't like betting against him. I was betting against his props though tonight. The chat was asking about Jared Cook. James Cook. What do you think of James Cook tonight?
Yeah, for James Cook, he's one of the running backs that I am not super high on today. I do think that last week we saw relative, I guess a better word is to say he kind of just got unlucky and got stumped for the first time all season. Definitely a weird divisional game against the Patriots. I do think that the touch counts should stay the same. Like they came out and said, the coach speak was basically like, we got to take some rush attempts off James Cook. We got to give some more to Ray Davis and give Ty Johnson some work, but they did nothing to do with that in that loss to the Patriots. And I don't think that they want to do that in this bad matchup on paper. Like this is a really, really tough matchup for James Cook in general. I do think this game will have to be won on the ground because I do respect the secondary for Atlanta. It's just like, I don't know how efficient James Cook's going to be in this spot. So I would side with fading this spot for James Cook. I don't have the stones to play an under on him. I would just rather stay away from it. That's how I'd approach
Every time I bet unders on James Cook, I lose, or even his overs. It always comes down to like one drive, like the last drive of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It always comes down to the last drive. For whatever reason, the books are super sharp on James Cook props, and I don't know what it is about it. There is a player tonight that I feel we don't have a number high enough, and I'm on the same page as you, going with Jacory Krosky-Merritt to go over his props tonight. You like him over fantasy points. I mean, I just feel like seeing his rushing yards number earlier today for Jacory Krosky-Merritt, 68.5. I know that we haven't had a huge sample size. How public is this play for betting his over, or are we correct that it's not high enough yet?
It's not high enough yet. I think that we should also see Chris Rodriguez limited, if not ruled out of this game. And Jeremy McNichols has had 5 total touches over the last 2. Again, I do think that, we've needed everything to go right for JCM, and he finally just had that breakout situation. Now, I didn't think you could really run on the Chargers, but obviously yesterday showed otherwise, and last week showed otherwise as well. I think that this is a perfect matchup against a Bears defense that I know is coming off the bye, but at the same time, they have just been absolutely decimated by running backs from every single matchup. And I think that through the air on the ground, like JCM should be able to do everything here. And furthermore, this is the first time that the Bears are going to actually face a relatively above average, if not elite, running quarterback, which should open things up for the run game in a multitude of ways. The only time that they had faced one, I believe, was when they faced JJ McCarthy, who ended up not doing much in that game, but then ran at the end of the game for that fourth quarter. So this is like the first time they're actually going to be facing a relatively scary running quarterback. I think that opens up the running game quite a bit.
So let's do what we do every Monday, where Jared and I.
Can I break news quick?
Yeah.
We have breaking news for tonight's game. We just found out from Adam Schefter that Dalton Kincaid and Curtis Samuel will both be missing this game tonight.
That's big. I was looking at Kincaid props earlier, and then I said I had to lay off because we didn't know his status. Atlanta has allowed the least receiving yards per game to tight ends this year and the least receptions per game to tight ends. Yep. So any thoughts there on, I assume it would be Knox?
It's gross. Yeah. So they have two guys that are going to be active. Hawes is the run blocking guy. I mean, Knox has been used as the run blocking guy anyway, but yeah, I mean, like he might have like a 2 for 8 stat line if they go and go heavy on the run here, which is kind of what they might have to do because now you're running like they don't really want to run Elijah Moore, who might even be an inactive because he kind of got replaced by Curtis Samuel, and now that he's out, it's like I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what they're going to do in the passing game here, to be honest with you. So I'm fine with taking Knox
clearly, the
unders.
books heard that before we even saw it because that's definitely why we're seeing that drop to 3.5.
Sure, that's worth a point or a half of a point.
Yeah, that's why we're seeing the Bills drop. But does Josh Allen care? Clearly, the numbers, according to John Ewing of BetMGM, say that Josh Allen doesn't give two craps if he's without players because he could figure it the hell out, which is why he's a winner and why he won MVP and why my Ravens freaking suck.